All right, I'm going in. So usually I come, with a little more like, what's happening, peace, what's going on, folks. But to be honest with you, I'm not in the mood for all that shit today. Um, this is the end of the week. What's the date today? April 6th. So all week I've been hearing a bunch of, I've been seeing and hearing a bunch of, propaganda and commercials about Martin Luther King and the anniversary of his assassination. But the only reason why I'm making this video because I just want to make it clear and to the family, um, anybody who's watching who I'm saying who rocks with me, and then to the ones that don't rock with me, I want to make it clear on both sides of the aisle to the family. If you still pray to the Jesus that killed Martin Luther King, if you still kumbaya to the fucking Jesus that killed Martin Luther King, you were spitting on that man's grave when you talk about rest in peace today, as if that shit is not the reason why this man is dead, or it's one of the reasons. And then on the other side, to the visitors, to the motherfuckers who don't rock with me, understand that when y'all think that when days like this come along and you guys can throw out PSAs and have little black kids come out and talk about Martin Luther King as if life is so much goddamn better for them now. Like I said, y'all are spitting on this man's grave. Y'all don't respect shit about him. What y'all love is the poor black Negro fucking story. That's what y'all love. That's why half of the fucking movies that have won Oscars that got anything to do with black people, it's got something to do with fucking slavery. It's because that's the shit y'all love. The poor fucking sad black goddamn man, dark man, black fucking. He's sad. He's pathetic. Oh, poor guy. Oh, let's just slap him and the motherfucker will turn the other cheek. That's what they're good at. They can just take a whole bunch of bullshit. Well, like I said, it's all not only a subliminal, but also a blatant fucking sign of disrespect and spitting on that man's grave. If any motherfucker who sits here and watches and supports platforms like the NBA, the NFL, and all the shit that still excludes us from making money while we're the top generators of these fucking platforms, like I said, y'all pieces of shit are spitting on that man's grave. And the man, and that is a man who decided to adopt the Christian fucking perception and ideology, which was given to him by his slave master. And he tried to take that same medicine and use it and say, oh, okay, y'all give me Jesus? Well, then let's talk about Jesus. How y'all gonna treat us like this if y'all are about Jesus? Well, how far did that get MLK? Rest in peace to the man. Rest in peace to his wife. Rest in peace to anything and everything that has to do with that man. But I'm not going to sit here and disrespect him and try to act like everything is cool and this man and what he died for actually was accomplished when it's bullshit. Ain't none of that shit was accomplished. None of that shit was accomplished. None of it was. It was all a facade. That's what it was. If anything, it did more. There was more liberation in the women's white women specifically. There was more liberation in white women's civil rights more than fucking black people in civil rights. Affirmative action. Affirmative action. Understand that the only reason why affirmative action was implemented was because of the fuckery that was going on. So don't tell me that affirmative action is affirmative action is telling you how fucked up the situation is. And even to this day, affirmative action is not as effective as motherfuckers want to say it is. Yeah, of course, people want to get mad about it all day, but if people would play the game right and treat everybody as equals when it comes to job opportunities and their capabilities and skills, we wouldn't have to have that goddamn problem. But see, it's not only is it something that has been specifically driven, but it's been systematically put together in regards to leaving everybody else at the back while the motherfuckers who own companies, Fortune 500 companies, the people who control the economy, the people who control the government and all levels of it, it's always been white males. Before Martin Luther King, after Martin Luther King, and it's still been that way. So fuck anybody who want to sit here and say rest in peace to MLK when you motherfuckers don't respect him not one bit. Y'all don't. You want to? How do you respect a man when you don't try to hone in and live by what he died for? How do you respect that man, huh? How do you respect that man? If you know somebody that died being brave, you running around being pussy is a dishonor to that man. If somebody you know dies being brave, you running around being a fucking a puss, a fucking yellow belly spineless puss, and you run around being scared of every little thing, including your shadow, that means you are dishonoring that man. Okay? So if somebody died that you loved and he was a fisherman, and then you quit fishing, you don't even fuck with fishing no more, that's not honoring that man, right? So if somebody died for things, for nonviolence, if somebody died for equality, if somebody died for fairness and education, and if we still don't, and that still is not happening now, what the fuck is that? That is spitting on the work, that is spitting on the honor and the legacy that that man died for. So, like, I don't give a fuck what politician, what celebrity, black or fucking white. Y'all run around here and you guys want to fucking commercialize Martin Luther King and throw up his, audio bites of his speeches and pictures of him, and then throw little black kids on there as if them little black kids are winning out here. It's fucking ridiculous. Like, I'm not gonna sit here and act like we haven't had some kind of progression, but that progression, not only has it been fought tooth and nail, but people are still dying in the midst of this so-called goddamn progression. And we're gonna talk statistics too when I'm talking about what I'm talking about. And fuck you if you want to sit here and tell me that just because Barack Obama was goddamn president, I need to be happy. Y'all got me fucked up. Y'all got me fucked up. That's what I'm saying. It's like, that's that type of narrow-minded, comfortable in this bullshit mentality that most of y'all have. And that's black people too, goddammit. Most of us want to look at things because it's been so fucked up this long. Then when we see an Obama, we winning. What succeeded Obama? How the fuck are we winning if someone like Trump gonna come in who is the complete opposite and so blatantly fucking racist to the point where the whole world is talking about this shit and going, who the fuck is this guy? Talking about Obama was a Muslim and wasn't even born in the country. That's treason. That's treason. You understand that? That's like grounds for executions and crazy shit like that. And that's the man now who's running the country, succeeding the first black president. How the fuck is that progression? How the fuck is that progression? How is that honoring a man like Martin Luther King by the country? I don't know what part of the country that is, and Russia, whoever the fuck helped get Trump elected. How are we honoring a man who is 100 times, 100,000 tenfolds more noble and pure than that carrot top, fat pig, nasty piece of the dude who wants to have sex with his daughter, nasty motherfucker. Like that, like, how do we compare them to and put them in the same category? One runs the country and then the other one's Martin Luther King in the position he's in. If anything, Martin Luther King could have ran the goddamn country more effective, let alone not even just even run the country, but just to be, he was more effective, and he wasn't even in the government. But then we got clowns like him who run the country now, who talk nothing but bigotry and divisiveness. And y'all want to tell me that not only do y'all and we respect MLK, but we respect for what he died for, and we're living up to what the fuck he died for? None of y'all motherfuckers are doing that. None of y'all. But for me, like I said, for me, I know what game it is. I know what game it is because, like I said, y'all love the sad Negro. Y'all love the Negro where you get to slap him in the face and he just turns the other goddamn cheek. Y'all love that shit. That's why y'all give Oscars to shit like that. Y'all give fucking Oscars to that, huh? Y'all love that. Well, I'm gonna tell you right now, y'all, it's not fooling me. It's not fooling me one bit. And to any person who wants to challenge what the fuck I'm saying, go look at the scoreboard. Look at the fucking scoreboard. The main emphasis of the civil rights movement was desegregation. It was to integrate. How integrated is this motherfucker nowadays? How integrated is it? Are white people moving to black neighborhoods? Or is it the other way around still? Huh? Are black people or white people going to black schools? Or is it the other way around still? Well, who's running these schools? Majority of schools, especially schools that are, with good grades, good graduation rates, and all of that. Where they at? Where they at? Are those integrated? Are they fully integrated? Or is it still 80% 80% this and 20% that, or 70% this or 30% that? What about the neighborhoods? What about the neighborhoods? I'm not saying there's no neighborhoods with black people and white people, but what level of what level of social class are they in? Are there nice neighborhoods with $200,000 to $300,000 houses where there's just as many black people and white people in that same goddamn neighborhood? Or do you see more of an integration in low income neighborhoods? Or do you see more integration in the low income neighborhoods? Which even then, it's not as much as anybody would fucking think. And y'all know that. Y'all know that. And, what pissed me off the most, I'm sitting there watching Channel 4. What's it? KO4R, whatever the fuck. Kelly Ogle and all them. And these are the news people in our area. And they're running these MLK segments where they got these little kids jumping on there talking about I'm living Martin Luther King's dream, blah, 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 blah. But they don't talk about that shit when they killed Terrence Crutcher, broad daylight, unarmed. And then his murderer, that bitch, Betty Jo, whatever the fuck her name is, she gets to go home. And then not only go home, that bitch gets to go back to work after she done killed a man that was unarmed in broad daylight, and her husband in the chopper talking shit going, yeah, he deserved it. He looked evil. He looked like a bad guy. He deserved that. And she got to go home. Was anybody talking about, was anybody respecting and thinking about the honor of the legacy of Martin Luther King then? Was anybody trying to live up to what that man died for then? Or does that only come around on the anniversaries? That's the only time people want to talk real sweet about Martin Luther King. But then when it's time, when things happen, that the things that he was addressing, the things that he died for, that ultimately got him killed, nobody addressing that shit then, huh? They're not running Martin Luther King segments then, aren't they? They're not running them motherfuckers then, huh? So, for me, like I said, it just my blood boils when I see these motherfuckers, and even like I said, even my own. When I see my own people, oh, rest in peace, Martin Luther King, Jesus Christ, help you, bless you, you're blessed. The same Jesus that you have been kissing ass all day and all your life and making your kid regurgitate the same bullshit, that's the shit that got him killed. The fuck are y'all talking about? What are y'all talking about? That's the shit that got him killed, is your Jesus. Listening to your Jesus talking about the only way to get your way, or the way for them to understand your plight is just let them fuck you up. Let them just beat your ass, slap you on this cheek, and you just turn the other one, let them fuck you up the other one. That's what Jesus told him to do. Let them do whatever the fuck they want to you. And that's exactly what the fuck happened. That's exactly what the motherfuckers did. They did whatever the fuck they wanted. And what they do? They got so brave, they got some ex-con to shoot that man. And he's gone. That's it. There's your Jesus. There's your Jesus. There's your Jesus story. Your fucking, your beautiful sob story. There's your Jesus. There's your Jesus. Right there. That's what you do when you rock with Jesus. You just get killed. And you die. And motherfuckers, you hope people feel sorry for you before you die. Or after, whatever the fuck. That's all it is. Please, let's throw the biggest pity party in the world for me in the name of goddamn Jesus. Well, fast forward to 2018. What the fuck? What the fuck? Not only has the world, but what have we done? How are we living up to what that man died for? What he died for, has it happened? While we're all talking about rest in peace, rest in peace. What he died for is the shit happening. Fuck resting in peace. How is he resting in peace if the shit he died for is still fucking going on? How? How do you rest in peace? How do you honor somebody when the shit they died for is still going on? And then especially the motherfuckers who resemble the people who killed him, who are comfortable in the system that killed him. If you are comfortable and you flourish in the system that killed that man, how the fuck do you respect him? How do you respect him? And the reason why I'm mad too is because I'm in that very system. I'm in that system too. And there is a level of comfortability for me. And I realize the fact that that is what got that man killed. So don't sit here and we can't play these games as if not only do we respect him, but if he was here, y'all would listen to what he had to say. No, y'all wouldn't. Y'all motherfuckers would not listen, black, white, whatever the fuck you are, you would not listen to what that man had to say. You wouldn't. You'd say it's pretty, but you wouldn't listen because y'all ain't listening now. None of y'all motherfuckers are listening now because nobody wants to call it what it is. If we're able to put somebody in the driver's seat that is as detrimental, as bigoted, as backwards as that carrot top motherfucker right there, if we are that easy to put that man up there who represents so much divisiveness, and in the same breath we say we respect and we honor Martin Luther King Jr., lightning should strike your ass dead. You should blow the fuck up. Lightning should strike your ass dead as soon as you're done with that fucking sentence. Because that don't even make sense. It don't make sense. You can't hold someone like Trump and Martin Luther King in the same breath, let alone in the same light, and let alone try to act like you live up to both of what they stand for. You can't. You can't. That's like saying you understand, it's like you rock with Jesus and you rock with Adolf Hitler. That's like saying you rock with Jesus and you rock with the devil. That shit don't make sense. That shit don't make sense. If somebody who died for equality and segregation, while someone who lives to separate and segregate and incite violence, you're telling me those two people, you can admire both of them at the same time? It's impossible. You can't rock with Trump, vote for Trump, and in your same breath say that you honor and respect Martin Luther King. That shit don't make no goddamn sense. Because that's what he stood against motherfuckers like Trump. Motherfuckers like Trump are the ones that put up the obstacles. And I'm going to show you. But people like him, they were the problem. And now they're running the country. Yet we still have propaganda out here pushing rest in peace MLK. Matter of fact, I think Trump met with MLK Jr. Met with him. I bet, that's what I'm saying. I bet MLK, the man, Martin Luther King, I bet that man was rolling in his grave, man. When his son met with goddamn Donald Trump, sat down with him. I'm not saying the man shouldn't sit down with him. I'm saying to not stand for what your father died for and to look that type of energy and force in the face and everything is cool, that shit blows my mind. People like Jesse Jackson, who are still alive today running around getting money. And while people that look like him are dying on the street, unarmed, people that look like him are not getting education nationwide. People like him are living in impoverished neighborhoods nationwide. Al Sharpton. These people knew MLK, marched with him. Now they chilling in New York, got CNN shows, rubbing elbows with the same people they were marching against 30, 40 years ago. Jeff Sessions, Attorney General. In the 80s, Coretta Scott King, Martin Luther King's wife, had wrote a letter refuting and wanting him not to be elected as the, I think it was, what was it? It was, I want to say it was the district attorney, or no, the senator. It was some high position. I got the article. It's some high position in the 80s. And she protested against it because of his KKK affiliations, because of his Ku Klux Klan affiliations. And because of her strong influence, he was not nominated. Fast forward to 2018, now this motherfucker is in the White House. So how the fuck are we honoring MLK when the country appoints the very people who not only have been known to have ties with the KKK, but then also to not only be denied, that promotion and that nomination because of his affiliations. But then now you fast forward 20 years later, that motherfucker is still in the White House. He finds another way to get a good job in the goddamn government. And y'all, and then people want to tell me that's progress? How the fuck is that progress when the same people who are doing the crazy shit 50 years later, they're still in fucking government? That means they still have a say in what's going on with the lawmaking. When we already know that these people have affiliations with terrorist groups that hang black people for a goddamn living. But that's progress. And these same motherfuckers, I guarantee Jeff Sessions said it this year. I guarantee most of them, man, oh, rest in peace, Martin Luther King. And they smile and act all cool. When Martin Luther King was marching against you motherfuckers, his wife wrote a letter complaining about you motherfuckers. So don't fucking tell me that number one is progress and number two that y'all respect that man. Y'all don't respect that man. Y'all don't. Not only y'all don't respect him, y'all don't respect anything that he died for. None of y'all do. Especially the ones, especially my people who still rock with the same Jesus that got that man killed. Especially the ones that still rock with the Jesus that got that man killed. The Jesus your slave masters gave you. So that's the shit I'm not going to play with. That's the shit I'm not going to play with. And that's why even for me, to a certain level, I have disrespected his honor too by when I had my mouth shut in this system. When I was in this system and I was going, well, I got to take care of mine. I got to take care of my people. I got to take care of my family. You know, like not necessarily fuck everybody else, but it's like I can't jeopardize that. But fuck that. Fuck that. Fuck that. You know why? It's because I know damn well that they got a timer on me too. And I know one thing's for sure is if I'm being done this way, I can't imagine how many motherfuckers are being done the same way that look like me. That they get into positions and they're exploited just because you're the only motherfucker that looks like you in that position. Or you get in a position and they say don't rock the boat. But they don't say it word for word, but they don't rock the boat. Or you're gonna lose your job, or you're gonna lose this, you're gonna lose that. That's what they threaten you with. And that's why most motherfuckers stay in line. But every day I wake up, my heart's a little heavier living like that. That's why I have to say something. And by me saying something, it encouraged me to do something. And then that's when I get to doing my things. I come out with my PSAs. I come out with my PowerPoints. I go and dig and I bring this information to y'all. I go and talk to the kids. I set up lectures and I go talk to these kids. That's how I work. But see, why I know that most people, when they hear this too, they're gonna understand what I'm saying, is because after I show you these numbers, you're gonna understand what I'm saying to you. And I ain't even got to show you the numbers. Like, you can just look at it today. Just look today. Just look at it. That goddamn show. What's the show? The Bachelor. How many black women have been on that show? How many black bachelorettes and bachelors have been on that show? How many? NFL, NBA, all them shits. You got black people running around sweating, making a bunch of money on them for those people. Who own basketball teams? How many black people you know own a full basketball team? None. Not one. And so, what an argument, not even a lot of people, an argument that some people will say, which somebody had said this to me one time, saying, well, that's just because they obviously know they don't want to own a team. You trying to tell me out of all the basketball players that have played for the last 45, 50 years that have generated billions of dollars for the NBA, you trying to tell me none of them motherfuckers had an inkling of creating their own fucking team? That's all they do. That's all they do. Of course, if it's not coaching, it's owning a team. If it's not owning a team, it's got something to do with goddamn basketball. Especially if you were in the NBA, the next step is owning a goddamn team. So how is it that most people who own basketball teams, they never even played in the NBA? They never even played in it. It's just all white men who got a bunch of money playing Monopoly. Playing Monopoly. Slave trading. Who you want? I give you this motherfucker for this motherfucker. I give you this motherfucker. But I bet you money Carmelo and LeBron, whoever else, they ain't gonna own shit after they retire. Michael Jordan barely owns shit. And he was the best. He owns 49% of Charlotte Bobcats. That's it, 49. He don't even own 50 goddamn percent. Not even 50%. Look how much money he done made Nike, NBA period. He only owns 49%. And that's what Martin Luther King died for motherfucking Jordan just to be able to own not even half of a fucking basketball team that he built, or an organization that he helped build, like this country that black people helped build, picking cotton. Same fucking thing. Pimping, hoeing. That's the fucking dynamic. You work and we own. You can't own with us. And y'all telling me that's how that motherfuckers is respecting and honoring Martin Luther King, when right now the only motherfucker that owns a basketball team that's black is, and not even a full one, is Michael Jordan at 49%. That's it. Not one motherfucker owns a stadium. Not one motherfucker owns a sports channel that previews the shit. Not one motherfucker owns uniforms or sweats that they all wear. None of them. But we respect MLK for what he died for. He died for motherfuckers just to be able to own half of some shit 50 years down the goddamn line. And I'm supposed to be cool with that. So I'm supposed to go, oh, no, it's all good. Maybe in another 50 years, we can have one more black president, and then one more motherfucker like Jordan. While all you motherfuckers who don't even get to play, who don't even play basketball, get to own all the shit. And that's just basketball. That's just the NBA. That's just one of the ways y'all milk and extort and exploit. And at the same time, rest in peace, Martin Luther fucking King, huh? Y'all are spitting on that man's grave, man. Y'all spitting on that man's grave. Both sides. Both sides. Both fucking sides. And I'm gonna show you what I mean. I'm gonna show you what I mean right here. This is an article on USA Today. Yeah. See, before I go on, that's another thing I want to mention real quick before I forget. Anybody in history, if you've noticed, uh, well, I don't want to say anybody in history, but the main presidents that were assassinated, Abraham Lincoln, John F. Kennedy. You know what I'm saying? Them two people. The only reason why them people were killed is because they had some kind of effect on the progression, on some kind of progression, or they attempted to make an effect. That's the word. They attempted to make an effect on the progression of dark-skinned people. Abraham Lincoln, the reason why he was assassinated was not because he quote unquote freed the slaves. He was assassinated because the South were going to use their slaves as soldiers. You see, if you own a slave, that motherfucker is yours. So what they were going to do is they were going to arm their slaves. If you understood the population of not only slavery back then, but how many slaves they had, they literally had. They said like based on the book that I read, upwards of 2.5 million the South alone had. So my point is that 2.5 million worth of black people, dark skinned people, they were gonna be armed by the South. So strategically, Abraham Lincoln, they came up with the Emancipation Proclamation because it completely broke the numbers of army. The army, the whole army count of the South was chopped in half. You know what I'm saying? As many people, as many soldiers as they had, it wasn't enough because them having the slaves and arming the slaves was gonna put them on top, at least enough to where they could do hand-to-hand combat with the North easily, and probably could have even fucking won. But see, strategically, Abraham Lincoln freed the slaves, so then the slaves had no what's the word I'm looking for? They didn't have to. They had no obligation to stay. They had no obligation to stay. And believe it or not, some slaves did stay and fought with the South because that's exactly what the plan was in the sense with the South, in the sense of using their slaves as soldiers too. And some of them that were so fucking brainwashed, that goddamn Stockholm syndrome, you've been whipped and, you know what I'm saying? It's like now that slave and his family looked at his slave master as literally as his family. You know what I'm saying? So some of them, they stayed and they fought. Some of them stayed and actually fought. Saying, fighting, going, we want to stay slaves. That's what they were doing. Going, no, we're okay with this shit. That's my master, because they were fucked in the head. So my point is that Abraham Lincoln was killed for that shit. Not that because he thought that it was a good thing to do. It was a noble thing to do. That's bullshit. That's why they made his penny copper and they turned his head to the opposite side. They did that shit to disrespect that man's honor because they didn't like him. Secondly, John F. Kennedy. That's why they killed that man too. Is because he was making efforts to reach across the aisle to the African American demographic of people. And the African American people actually liked John F. Kennedy. They actually were gravitating towards him. And then so when he was proposing the Civil Rights Act in 1963, that's when the firestorm started. And then, like I said, the powers that be, the white supremacists who wanted to keep it this way and the way that it is right now, that's why they killed JFK. It's because he was attempting to make influence with the African American demographic. So understand, that's why Martin Luther King, they took him out too, Malcolm X, and anything and everything else that correlated with trying to create effect and progress within the African American community. And that's why even me, I might disappear just because of the shit I'm talking about now. You understand what I'm saying? So, with that being said, we're going to get to it real quick. So, when John F. Kennedy called Congress in June 1963 to pass what would eventually become the Civil Rights Act of 1964, he rattled off a string of statistics intended to highlight the nation's continuing racial divide a century after the Emancipation Proclamation. Now, African Americans born that year, Kennedy said, had about one half as much chance of completing high school as a white boy born in the same place on the same day. One third as much chance of completing college, one third as much chance of becoming a professional man, twice as much chance of becoming unemployed, about 1/7 as much chance of earning $10,000 a year, a life expectancy which is 7 years shorter, and the prospects of earning only half as much. 50 years later, on the eve of Monday's observance of Martin Luther King Day, the battle to end overt discrimination has been far more successful than the effort to attain economic, educational, or social equality. You see what I'm saying? Because that is what the fight was about, is to be able to attain economic, educational, or social equality. Okay? So with that being said, economically, if you look at if we look at it now, economically, is there a fair distribution of wealth? I didn't think so. And we know there isn't. Okay? Only 3% of Fortune 500 companies share full diversity data. And you might ask yourself, why is that so? Right? Why is that so? Well, that's just because these motherfuckers don't know, they don't want you to know who they're hiring and who they're not hiring. And then you might ask yourself, why is that so? Well, that's because it's the same reason why Michael Jordan is the only fucking basketball player who owns anything in the NBA in regards to a basketball team. It's because they want it that fucking way. That's why. So, with that being said, it's well documented that the C-suits and the boardrooms of Fortune 500 companies are overwhelmingly white and male. What's less clear is the makeup of the 28 million employees who work for them. It's worth pointing out that the case has already been made for diversity improving the bottom line. Companies in the top quartile for racial and ethnic diversity are 35% more likely to have returns above national industries medians, SAP Chief Diversity and Inclusion Officer Anka Wittenberg wrote in a piece for Fortune. She also pointed out to a study from Burson by Deloitte that found over a 3-year period, diverse companies see 2.3 times the cash flow per employee when compared to their less diverse peers. So when you hear that stat, that's telling you that diversity actually encourages not only profit, but it's something that is beneficial to your company as opposed to detrimental. So then you would ask yourself, then why isn't this not implemented? If diversity, look, diverse companies, they see 2 to 3 times the cash flow per employee. So, like I just gave an example with the NBA. If they realize that majority of black dudes in the NBA are the ones generating money, then why are they not letting them own at the same? Like, why aren't they owning? Not even letting. Why aren't they owning? Why aren't they owning if they know that in company more cash flow? Then why are they not letting? Why is there not a fair distribution of the majority of the people that play the sport are African American. Majority of the people who generate the money in the NBA are African American. So why is there not a substantial percentage of Americans who actually own in the field that they generate majority of the money in? Why is that not so? Why is that not so? It's because motherfuckers don't want it that way. That's why. Because I'm not going to see, we can't, this is what we won't do. We won't sit here and act like Michael Jordan is the only person who wanted to become a basketball team owner. And then we're not going to act like Michael Jordan is the only player who could accumulate the funds to get all that shit together. There is thousands of basketball players that are in the NBA. If them motherfuckers put together just only even if they just said $250,000 a piece, them motherfuckers can put together some money, big money, real fucking quick. Okay? So let's not act like if these NBA guys couldn't put money together, get other investors to get it done. But see, that's the thing. You have to understand is that if they did that, then who would invest, right? Where would they be able to? Would they have? They'd have to. They would have to buy their own stadium. Would they have to get their own channel? Because right now, all the people that all the white people that own the NBA and the basketball teams, if all the black dudes, or if any, let's say a group of African Americans, or a group of, not even African Americans, because there's dark skinned people in the NBA that come from all over the world. So let's just say a group of dark skinned people decide to get together in the NBA and say, yo, let's get our own team, our own league together, just like how Ice Cube did the 3-on-3 thing. You see Ice Cube. You see how Ice Cube is not on TNT. His 3-on-3 shit. It's not on ESPN, and if it is, it's like maybe on some late night shit or whatever, or maybe it's on ESPN too because maybe he got to deal with them just because he's Ice fucking Cube. Because they're looking at it going, y'all are baby league. Anybody gonna fuck with y'all anyway? But my point is that they don't want no competitors like that. They don't. Because if we did that, we would have to come up with our own TNT, our own ESPN. We would have to do that because them motherfuckers ain't going to share advertising and media buy with that team. Do you see goddamn Ice Cube shit on TNT? No. NBA ain't trying to have that shit. They don't want no. Fuck you. You ain't getting money with us. And good luck trying to get your shit on TV because we own all the fucking channels too. That's respecting Martin Luther King, right? 50, 60 years later, still no integration with money. There's no integration with companies. There's no integration with education. There's no integration in the political aspect of things. None. There's still more old white dudes that run the country and got more say-so in the law than anybody else. There's still more white dudes economically in Fortune 500 companies that not only own, but they don't even tell us who they're fucking hiring and who they're firing. That's progress? Fuck out of here. Fuck out of here with that shit. 12 of this year's Fortune 500 companies appeared on last year's 50 Best Workplaces for Diversity list, which relies heavily on the outcome of 450,000 employees surveys in methodology. That means women, minorities, people with disabilities, and members of the LGBTQ community related their employers favorably when asked about representation, favoritism, feeling included, and morale. Okay? So, 17.5%, these firms, 17.5% firms not only have the influence of industry leaders to set norms and expectations, they're also directly responsible for hiring a significant portion of Americans. Fortune 500 companies employ 17.5% of the total U.S. workforce. Walmart alone, which has been the top of the Fortune 500 list since 2013, employs 1% of all American workers. Now, 400 out of these year's Fortune 500 companies share no data about the gender or ethnicity of their employees. Though most firms have pages proclaiming the importance of diversity to their culture and success, only 1 out of every 5 companies provides any information to show that they're measuring their progress. So here we go. Again, this is a perfect example of that bullshit. Is that everybody likes talking all this rest in peace MLK. We respect the man. Channel 459, Kelly Ogles, all these motherfuckers, they want to sit and act like they respect MLK. Donald Trump, they want to act like they respect MLK. All these motherfuckers talk all that shit, but then when you look at their numbers, when you look at their statistics, when you look at their history, and when you look at when unarmed black people are shot or anything of inequality is happening, not only do them motherfuckers not say anything, but they don't want to show you anything either. They say 400 of these companies, they share no data. Fuck y'all, we ain't telling y'all shit. While at the same time, motherfuckers will say, rest in peace, Martin Luther King. They will proclaim the importance of diversity. Oh yeah, we definitely need to all be together. Yet, in the same breath, share no data about what ethnicities they're hiring. But then they're gonna walk outside and go, yeah, no, everybody needs to work together because we're all human. But you know what I'm saying? Talk all that bullshit, the kumbaya, rest in peace, we respect you. But yet, fucking 95% of y'all don't even show. If you don't want to show anybody if you do what you're actually saying, which is just proving the point that not only is it still segregated, but now you play this game where you say that everything's cool, but then it's just hidden behind closed doors. You see, that's the only thing civil rights did. Before civil rights, there was a white water fountain and a black water fountain. After civil rights, there was just a water fountain. And every time that white dude left that water fountain, he'd be talking shit on his way home. And when he got home, he'll call you nigger, coon, whatever the fuck he want to say. But then as soon as he leaves the house, he can put the smile back on and then come and shake your hand and fuck around and even eat lunch with you, kick it with you, probably even fuck around and hang out with you. But then as soon as he leaves, he gonna go home and talk all sorts of shit about how you a monkey and all sorts of crazy shit. Because that's exactly what this is right here. These companies have, commercials and PSAs about how there's diversity in their companies and they accept everybody for who they are. Yet, in the same goddamn breath, they don't want to tell you who they're hiring. What type of shit is that? See, all civil rights did was just turn racism inside out. Or outside in. That's what it did. It turned it outside in. It was out in the open. Racism was out in the open back in the day. But then when civil rights came, motherfuckers said, just take down the sign. The Ku Klux Klan dude just took off the mask. Doesn't mean the motherfucker ain't Ku Klux Klan no more. That just means he took off the mask. Now he just walks down the street. Now he just walks down the street. He just doesn't yell the shit no more. He doesn't do his Hitler sign outside no more. He just does it inside. And it's not even a sign anymore. Maybe it's just a look or a word or a phrase. But all it did is put a blanket over it. That's all it did. All it did is turn the lights off on it. That's all it did. Because 50 years later, 400 companies still don't want to be transparent in regards to who they hire. So we know that they're living up to what they're saying. And so, like I said, if these people are billionaires and they're willing to be this shady, and this is 50 years down the line after MLK. Like I said, I can't stomach it when these motherfuckers try to tell me not only do they respect the man and what he stood for, but it's like motherfuckers are trying to act like they live up to it. If anything, like I said, the racism is just indoors now. It's just not outside like it used to be. All of the firms on the Fortune 500 list collect data on the race and gender of their employees, which they are required to report to the Department of Labor each year. Only 20% of the companies on the 2017 list released any numbers about the race or gender of their employees, and less than 4% share the full data reported to the DOL. Only 3.2% of the companies of Fortune 500 list release complete data for their race and gender for their employees in each job category and management level. Let me repeat that sentence. Only 3.2% of companies on the Fortune 500 list release complete data for the race and gender of their employees in each job category and management level. In this case, Fortune considered a public release of an EEO-1 form or the data that appears on it to represent complete data. Every company on the list must collect and submit this data to the Department of Labor annually, but just 16 companies on this list make their numbers public. Just 16. Another 84 companies publish partial information, many reporting the percentages of women or non-white workers and others sharing only the demographics of their leadership. This is the shit I'm talking about. They gotta hide the shit. They gotta hide it. Three out of four. The vast majority of companies on the list that report their full diversity numbers are in tech center. Companies like Google, Facebook, Apple have released reports on the demographics of their workforce in recent years. So it may be unsurprising that 75% of the Fortune 500 firms publishing their numbers are in the tech space. So that means that you don't see the numbers. You don't get to see the numbers. You see what I'm saying? So that's the thing, people. That's the thing. These are numbers. This is Fortune 500 companies, and these companies are the backbone of the country, and none of them have any trace of diversity. 14 of them, they were saying 14 of them do, but like I said, out of 500, that's a drop in the goddamn bucket. So the same mentality that killed Martin Luther King is still not only alive and well, but is stronger than ever. It's still just as fucking powerful as it was in the fucking 60s. Ain't shit changed. Ain't shit changed. Just because you throw goddamn a few crumbs in there, don't piss on me and tell me it's raining. That when people talk about Barack Obama as if we've reached some fucking milestone, that's what I'm saying. It's like you stab me in the back 9 inches, you pull it out 6, and you call that progress. There's still a knife in my back. There's still a knife in my back. Barack Obama is not goddamn progress to me. Especially being succeeded by the thing that succeeded in. That is not progress. If anything, that's letting us know, like, well, hold up. This is what we think about your first black president. We don't think highly of it one bit. So we're going to grab the most opposite fucking person who acts worse than a child, who acts worse than an alcoholic, who acts... It's so embarrassing. It's so embarrassing that, like, you're going to have somebody as a gentleman like Obama, and then here comes this guy who calls women fat and call them pigs, tells people to grab women by the pussy. He's been married to all these Russian mail order brides, can't keep one. Says he basically is attracted to his daughter. If he wasn't dating his daughter, he would. I mean, if she wasn't his daughter, he would date her. Just the most opposite, nasty, incestual, cowardly person I could ever think of to run a country. And that's progress. You think right now, Martin Luther King, even when the shit was happening, you would have been cool with that shit? Y'all be sitting there going, y'all respect him then? Fuck out of here, man. And another thing too, specifically what got MLK killed was because he realized that this kumbaya, I'm just gonna sit here while you motherfuckers spit on me and do all whatever the fuck you want. He realized that shit wasn't working. And that's why they killed that man. He realized that forcing integration is not integration. Integration should come from a moral obligation. It should come from a moral obligation. You should feel morally convicted to treat people nicely. So civil rights, all it did was force people who didn't want to treat people nicely to treat them nicely. Force people that didn't want to treat people fairly to treat them fairly. But even then, that's why the proof is in the goddamn pudding. I just shown you the stats. They don't want to play fair. They still don't want to play fair. Because if they wanted to play fair, then they wouldn't come up with all these little systematic ways to hinder our success and our progress. But it's because motherfuckers are scared to play fair with the dark-skinned man. They are scared to play fair with the dark-skinned man. They're scared. Motherfuckers are scared. They're scared. They are scared to play fair. Because they know what's going to happen if they play fair. Motherfuckers might not win. They're scared. It's fear that you do this. You make sure, if they black, don't get them in. Or no, I don't want them working. That's fear. Because if you were not scared, you'd go, let him in. Let him in. Let's see what he can do. And then, obviously, it's like it's either you outperform him, whatever. But if you don't even give somebody a chance to perform and you cut them out in the beginning, you scared. That's fear. That's fear. I'm not going to let you work for my Fortune 500 company. Why? Why? Because you don't belong here. It's because you don't want me to take this bitch over. That's why. Because you don't want me to outperform you. That's why. It's fear. It's got nothing to do with anything else. Because if there was no fear, motherfuckers wouldn't care. They'd be like, no, fuck it, we don't give a damn. Come on through. Yeah, come on through. But no, y'all don't want that to happen. That's why you don't want to show nobody your demographics and your statistics. That's why, what was it? Let me go back to that bitch. What was it? 3.2. Only 3.2% of the companies release their complete data. That's fear. That's fear. That's not confidence. That's not a confident person hiding information, cheating. That shit ain't. That's not a confident person. They cheat. Confident people don't cheat. I know if I know I'm gonna win, why the fuck I gotta cheat? If I know I'm gonna win, why would I not let you play? If I'm not gonna win, if I know I'm gonna win, why would I care if you play? It's because motherfuckers are scared. That's why they don't want Michael Jordan's owning basketball teams, because they're like, y'all motherfuckers been playing the game, y'all dunking on us and doing all this shit. Now y'all want to come and own the shit too? You goddamn right, motherfucker. Because we are here playing and we're making the money, so then I'm going to get to own some of this shit too. That's what it is. And until that day, LeBron, all these motherfuckers, those are just high dollar slaves. That's it. High dollar slave. And that's why the whole world will sit there, will admire him and think he's cool. But then, have you, any of y'all, ask LeBron, go, LeBron, why is Michael Jordan only motherfucker on a basketball team? Bet your money he won't answer that question. He know the answer, but he won't answer it. Nobody talk about that. None of them do. None of them do. But most importantly, MLK knew that this peaceful approach not only was not working, but it is forcing integration where integration wasn't wanted. He knew that. And when he realized that, and he was about to switch it up, him and Malcolm got to talking. Because Malcolm too had reached his peak in epiphanies, and he started to withdraw from the Nation of Islam. Because he started realizing the bullshit and the fuckery that they had going. They had ties with the KKK. Their Muhammad guy, whatever the fuck, was molesting kids. All this crazy shit. But one thing for sure is MLK knew that this shit ain't working, bro. These people don't respect anything. And how we know this? Harry Belafonte. He had a conversation with Harry Belafonte. If y'all don't know who Harry Belafonte is, he was a singer, entertainer, actor, and a civil rights activist. And he knew Martin Luther King. They marched together and everything. And Belafonte, years down the line, he recalled the conversation in regards to MLK understanding the fact that Jesus ain't gonna get us nowhere. What revolution has been won by sitting your ass down and not fighting for it? Tell me, what fucking revolution? Who has won their independence and their freedom by sitting on their ass and not fighting for it? Who? Who got slapped and then turned the cheek, slapped again, and then was free? Who? Because even your Jesus got killed off when he was doing that dumb shit. Who? You don't win revolutions with peace. You don't win revolutions with peace. You do not separate from your conqueror with peace. You do not withdraw from years of servitude, rape, and pillaging with peace. Where do they do that at? Where the fuck will people rape you, sell you, beat you for hundreds of years, and then you just say, you know what? I'm about done with this, y'all. We're just gonna It's been fun, thank you. What the fuck? They don't work like that. It never worked like that. I don't know why the fuck anybody thought you could smile your way to freedom. Smile your way to a revolution? Sing hymns all the way to a fucking revolution? March to a revolution? What the fuck marching gonna do but make your feet tired? What the fuck is singing gonna do but make your throat hurt? You don't win revolution. You don't. No freedom comes from peace. None. And that's what MLK understood. Finally, after he let go of that Jesus bullshit that had him running around, getting slapped and hosed down with water, and for what? Just so people can say, God damn, you can take an ass whooping? Maybe I should stop whooping your ass? Did it stop? No, it didn't. Did it stop for Jesus? Nope, it didn't. It never does. If somebody slap you in the face, don't give them your other cheek, man. Don't give them your other cheek. Don't do it. Harry Belafonte speaks on the last conversation he had with MLK. Midway through the civil rights movement, Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. realized that the struggle for integration would ultimately become a struggle for economic rights. We just touched on the economic climate of today. And we just touched on that, folks. Hold on, just to make sure that's not an article. We just touched on the economic climate of today. He understood the fact that it's not about us sitting in the same restaurant and drinking out the same fountain. It's about us sitting in the same company and getting money out of the same fountain. And that's what he understood, is that that's what the motherfuckers don't want. And that's where they're gonna get us at. Okay? So midway through the civil rights movement, Dr. Martin Luther King realized that the struggle for integration would ultimately become a struggle for economic rights. I remember the last time we were together at my home, shortly before he was murdered. He seemed quite agitated and preoccupied, and I asked him what the problem was. I've come upon something that disturbs me deeply, he said. We have fought hard and long for integration, as I believe we should have, and I know that we will win, but I've come to believe we're integrating into a burning house. I'm going to repeat that. He said, I've come upon something that disturbs me deeply. He said, we have fought hard and long for integration, as I believe we should have, and I know that we will win, but I've come to believe we're integrating into a burning house. This statement took me aback. It was the last thing I would have expected to hear, considering the nature of our struggle, and I asked him what he meant. I'm afraid that America may be losing what moral vision she may have had. He answered, and I'm afraid that even as we integrate, we are walking to a place that does not understand that this nation needs to be deeply concerned with the plight of the poor and the disenfranchised. Until we commit ourselves to ensuring that the underclass is given justice and opportunity, we will continue to perpetuate the anger and violence that tears at the soul of this nation. We will continue to perpetuate the anger and the violence that tears at the soul of this nation. You see, he's saying here, what he fears is that there is still a lack of understanding that the nation needs to be concerned about the plight, empathize, not sympathize, but to empathize with the poor and the disenfranchised. And that's all races. It's just all. See, he's saying at the end of the day, just to understand and to empathize with the ones that are disenfranchised, whatever color they are. That's what needs to be established. That's what he was saying is not only was lacking then, but I'm showing y'all is lacking today. Is that the moral compass that we should all be depending on is not the same. It's not the same. The quality of life and how we should all respect it at a certain level, at a high level at that, is not the same, especially when it comes to different races. When black people are seen on the street, their quality of life is looked at a very low level. Motherfuckers think they can just shoot, especially a cop, a white cop at that. Not even just a white motherfucker, anybody think they can just shoot a black man. Because it's easier to shoot a black man because they are deemed criminal and violent. Our moral compasses, not only do they not correlate, but they have never been in line. And one has always been infringing on the other. You don't hear about cases of black people running around killing white people all goddamn day. You don't hear about that shit. You don't hear about black cops killing white kids all goddamn day either. You know why? Because those stats don't fucking exist. We don't do that. It's because we don't do that. We don't criminalize any type of Caucasian, let alone any other race of people. Because statistically, it would show that. Police reports, murder rates, it would show all that shit. But that's not what happens. A young white boy walking down the street is not deemed as a criminal. He's not deemed as violent. But I can't say the same for mine. I can't say the same for mine. That is the morality that he is referring to. Is that first we all have to be in the same coordinates. We have to be on the same page with our moral compass. Just to understand that the disenfranchised, no matter who they are, need some kind of social focus is something that needs to be understood by every fucking body. That's what he's saying there. You know? Until we commit ourselves to ensuring that the underclass is given justice and opportunity, we will continue to perpetuate the anger and violence that tears at the soul of this country. Until we commit ourselves to ensuring that the underclass is given justice. Look at the police shootings. Justice. Let's talk about justice. Let's talk about justice. In 15 high-profile cases involving deaths of blacks, one officer faces prison time. In 15 high-profile cases involving deaths of black people with police, only one officer faces prison time. Until we commit ourselves to ensuring the underclass is given justice and opportunity, this is not justice. 15 high-profile cases that have something to do with an unknown black man being killed, and only one of those motherfuckers is going to jail. That is not giving underclass and the disenfranchised the opportunity of justice. And what is going on is exactly what MLK said, was there is a continuation and a perpetuation of the same anger and the same violence that is still tearing this nation apart. And what he says is, quote, I fear I am integrating my people into a burning house. I fear I am integrating my people into a burning house. This is a statement that was made to Harry Belafonte, a good friend of Dr. King, shortly before he was murdered. is because he understood. He finally understood that not only is integration not the the plan. Not only is integration what we should be focusing on first. What we should be focusing on is us having a moral vision and us having the same idea of what equality stands for, of what justice stands for, of looking at all levels of society and giving them equal opportunity for liberty, justice, and freedom. But see, he noticed that that's what the problem is that first and foremost, morally, people don't see eye to eye. Some people still run around, still honestly think that black people not only are monkeys, but motherfuckers ain't even human. So morally, in Christian Bibles, slavery was justified. Morally, we don't see eye to eye. We don't see eye to eye. Some motherfuckers think in Christianity it says that black people are black because of a curse. We do not see eye to eye. We don't see eye to eye. Dr. King said the above statement to Harry Belafonte in a conversation they had had before his death. Belafonte, startled at the statement, said to him, "What should we do?" Dr. King told him that we become the firemen. Let us not stand by and let the house burn. Now, see, that's my thing too, is that at first it sounds good, right? But nah. Why? He said, I am integrating my people into a burning house. So we outside. Why the fuck should we bring this? Why should we why should we play firemen? Why should we put water on this motherfucking fire? On this house. We should let that motherfucker burn and we build us our own house. You see, that's where I disagree with Dr. King, respectfully, is that he wanted to save the house. The burning house that he integrated us into. He wanted to save the house. But why do we save the house when we already know that it lacks justice, it lacks opportunity, it lacks morality? We should have let that motherfucking house burn. That's what we should have done. That's what we should have done. Because we didn't start the fire. We didn't start the fucking fire. On the flip side, you have a speech by Malcolm X. It was entitled, "The House Negro and the Field Negro." He spoke about how the house Negro loved the master more than he loved himself. And that if the master's house caught on fire, the house Negro would try to put the fire out. On the other hand, you have the field Negro. The field Negro hated the master and despised his very existence. If the master's house were to catch on fire, the field Negro would pray for a strong wind to come along and burn that motherfucker down. And that's my point. Fuck that house. I've never been inside it anyway. Motherfuckers has never let me come in that house anyway. That's like right now the White House was burning down. I'm gonna start grabbing pails of water to save that bitch? Y'all only let one of us in that motherfucker. Why the fuck should I save that building when the only people that have been invited and have been comfortable in that place for all these years is y'all? Hence the name fucking White House. I'm letting that bitch burn. That motherfucker can go up in flames. I'm not gonna help shit. Because we've never been allowed to come in the White House as authority figures. Ever. So fuck that. I'm a field Negro. I'm letting that bitch burn. I'm letting that motherfucker cook up. I'm grabbing marshmallows. I'm cooking something off that. So I know I saw it and I enjoyed the shit out of it. That's what the fuck I'd be doing. So here you have two black thoughts that are on opposite sides of the spectrum. The feelings are as true today as they were when both statements were proclaimed in the 60s. You understand what I'm saying? So back to it. Over the past 3 years, cases in which blacks were killed. I hate when motherfuckers call us blacks. I hate that shit. Like I just can't stand that shit. Like blacks, like you know what I'm saying? I just hate that shit. You don't call. I'm not what the fuck I look like to you dumb motherfuckers. And black is not even black is black is the perception of dark. You understand what I'm saying? When you see a fucking a black cat, you don't call it black. You call it a cat. That's what the fuck it is. A cat. You describe it as a black fucking cat. So, like I said, this is also just another way of condescending us as a people. It's just you call us just the color. Just call us the color. Goddamn it! I fucking hate that shit. Over the past 3 years, cases in which dark-skinned people were killed by the police or died in police custody have risen to national prominence and increased racial tensions, often prompting demonstrations around the country. We tracked the outcomes of 15 high-profile deaths. In some of the cases, the police offered an explanation for their actions, but many viewers of raw footage concluded that the actions were unjustified. Officers were indicted or charged in 8 of the cases. A trial is pending in one case. One case resulted in one conviction, and another led into a guilty plea and a prison sentence. Terrence Crutcher, rest in peace, in Tulsa. No conviction. Officer found not guilty of manslaughter, and that bitch went home too, and she got to keep her job. Philando Castillo, rest in peace. No conviction. Officer acquitted second-degree murder. There was a settlement though. Samuel DuBose, rest in peace. No convictions. Charges dropped after 2 mistrials. Sandra Bland, no conviction. Perjury. Charges dropped. They got money though. Freddie Gray, rest in peace. No conviction. 3 acquitted. Charges against 3 others were dropped. Walter Scott, finally somebody got caught one. Pled guilty. Officer sentenced to 20 years after he pleaded guilty to civil rights charges. Akai Gurley in Brooklyn, rest in peace. Officer convicted of manslaughter, judge later reduced it to negligent homicide. You see, these motherfuckers, you see, you kill it. So this is the message it gives, is that so when you kill a dark-skinned man, you get to go home with a trophy. You get to go home. After a mistrial for murder or voluntary manslaughter charges in December 2016, Michael Slager, the North Charleston, South Carolina officer who fatally shot Walter Scott in the back as Mr. Scott was running away, pleaded guilty to civil rights charges in May. He was later sentenced to 20 years in prison. Peter Liang was convicted of manslaughter after Akai Gurley was killed by a ricocheting bullet in a dark stairwell of a Brooklyn housing project. The judge later reduced the conviction to criminal negligence. So it's like, why'd you even pull out the gun, and why'd you even let off a shot, and this person gets killed, but then the judge goes, oh, it's not your fault. Oh, it's not that. Like, get the fuck out of here, man. Like, the more I read that shit, the more I get pissed off. I'm gonna move on, bro. And then, another thing, too. Jeff Sessions, who had affiliations, who still, I mean, to my, it's like for me, if you rocked with the KKK 30 years ago, you still with them today, goddammit. I don't give a fuck what you say. If motherfuckers was talking about you being in the KKK 30 years ago and that's why you couldn't get a certain job, motherfucker, you are still cool with them people to this day. I don't give a fuck if you don't talk to them no more. You still got that shit in you one way or another. I used to hang out with Crips when I was younger. If you motherfuckers want to say I'm a Crip, goddammit, whatever. That's what it is. That's what I hung around with when I was younger. So if birds of a feather, motherfucker, they gonna flock together where you wanted to or not. You shouldn't have been around them motherfuckers then. If you are not gonna be fucking wanting to be associated with them, you shouldn't be around them then. God damn it. But that's what it is. So I'm not gonna play this shit too that 40 years down the line this motherfucker is not racist and hanging out with goddamn KKK people. Coretta Scott King, the widow of civil rights leader Martin Luther King Jr., urged Congress in a letter to block the 1986 nomination of Jeff Sessions for federal judge. That's what it was. Saying that allowing him to join the federal bench would be irreparably damage. It would irreparably damage the work of my husband. The letter, previously unavailable publicly, was obtained on Tuesday by the Washington Post. Anyone who used the power of his office as United States Attorney to intimidate and chill the free exercise of the ballot by citizens should not be elevated to our courts, King wrote in the cover page of her 9-page letter opposing Sessions' nomination, which failed. Mr. Sessions has used the awesome powers of his office in a shabby attempt to intimidate and frighten elderly black voters. For this reprehensible conduct, he should not be rewarded with a federal judgeship. 30 years later, Sessions, now a senator, is again undergoing confirmation hearings. As President elected Trump nominee for Attorney General, he is facing fierce opposition from civil rights groups. In the letter, King writes that Sessions' ascension to the federal bench simply cannot be allowed to happen, arguing that as a U.S. attorney, the Alabama lawmaker pursued politically motivated fraud prosecutions, that he lacks the temperament, fairness, and judgment to be a federal judge. She said Sessions' conduct in prosecuting civil rights leaders in a voting fraud case raises serious questions about his commitment to the protection of the voting rights of all American citizens. The irony of Mr. Sessions' nomination is that if confirmed, he will be given a life tenure for doing with a federal prosecution what the local sheriffs accomplished 20 years ago with the clubs and cattle prods, she wrote. Man. Later adding, I believe his confirmation would have a devastating effect on not only the judicial system in Alabama, but also on the progress we have made toward fulfilling my husband's dream. During the 1986 hearing, the letter and King's opposition became a crucial part of the argument against Sessions' confirmation. BuzzFeed's news reported the existence of the letter early Tuesday, noting that it was never entered into congressional record by then Judiciary Committee. So so that's just showing you right there the nature of these people back in the day, and now, the president of the United States now not only obviously is okay with it, but he is hiring, people who played crucial roles in, in the problems in the 80s in regards to, you know, unfairly treating elderly black voters, and then, like I said, and his affiliations with the Ku Klux Klan. But Trump is cool with all that because that's his people. You know what I'm saying? They all rock together. He's just as racist as fucking Jeff Sessions. Okay. Malcolm X. Malcolm X planned to create a black nationalist party that would cooperate with local civil rights actions in order to heighten political consciousness of Negroes. The week before, he had an unplanned meeting with Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. in a hallway after they both observed Senate filibuster on the Civil Rights Bill. Soon after his announcement, a meeting with Malcolm X, E. Grant, and Jay Warden to discuss incorporation of MMI, Muslim Mosque Incorporated, took place. You see what I'm saying? So these guys were talking about putting their minds together, and then motherfuckers both end up getting shot up. They both end up getting shot up. Okay? So, like I said too, that's why people like Abraham Lincoln got shot up, and this guy here, John F. Kennedy. It's because, like I said, these guys had influence, and they were trying to create influence within the African American demographic, and they were killed for it. And then, we want to talk about Martin Luther King, and that's what I'm going to end with. Well, first, let me throw y'all a couple of notes in regards to what Martin Luther King stood for and what he died for, and it's not happening. So there are fewer Fortune 500 companies who are women than who are named Dave or John. Two single male names outnumber an entire fucking gender. Only 5 out of all Fortune 500 companies have African American CEOs. Only 5 out of all 500 companies have African American CEOs. That's what Martin Luther King died for, which obviously is still not happening, is integration. 5 out of 500 is not integration. 40% of people think that there's a double standard against hiring women. Okay. Men are 30% more likely to are more likely than women to be prompted from an entry-level manager. Resumes submitted by people with African American sounding names are 14% less likely to get a call back than those with white sounding names. This is what Martin Luther King was fighting for, which is still going on today. 67% of job 67% of job seekers said a diverse workforce is important than considering job offers. That's true, but it should be 100%. 57% of employees think their company should be more diverse. Only 57% think that there should be more diversity in their company. Only 57% of people think that. When we've already talked about the fact that statistically it's proven that the more diverse your company, actually the more profit and the more progress you actually make because of the numerous different, uh, um, um, what's the word? Ideas, opinions, and perspectives of those different backgrounds and cultures because of the assortment, the variety of ideas, because of the variety of perceptions of diversity, you are actually more progressive. But only 57% people think that. The rest motherfuckers think no, I should only hire my own people. If I fuck with white people, that's all I'm hiring. If I'm white, if you're Indian, that's all you hiring is Indian people. 41% of managers say that they are too busy to implement diversity initiatives. That's crazy. That's crazy. So I could keep going and going. Let me. I got another one too. Is there, I think this is. Yeah, I think I've already read some of this off to y'all. All right, so now I'm gonna end with this page right here. I'm gonna end with y'all's president. Uh, this is the president that not only is voted into the country right now, but he is the face of the country. He is the attitude of the country, and this is what Martin Luther King died for, right? This is what he died for. This is the progress that y'all are talking about, right? So Trump's real estate company tried to avoid renting apartments to African Americans in the 1970s, and they gave preferential treatment to the whites, according to federal government. And he actually was sued for that, and he settled out of court. But this is the president of the United States, present day, and in the 70s was during the civil rights movement, and he was avoiding renting apartments to African Americans in the 1970s during the civil rights movement. So this is the president of today, and this is what Martin Luther King died for, was for people like him to become president. This is what he died for, right? Trump treated black employees in his casino differently from whites, according to multiple sources. A former hotel executive said Trump criticized a black accountant. Black guys counting my money. I hate it. I think the guy is lazy, and it's probably not his fault because laziness is a trait in blacks. And that's the president of the country. That's what Martin Luther King died for, is for people like him to be able to run the country 50 years after he dies, right? Because there's so much progress, right? 1989, Trump took out ads in New York newspaper urging the death penalty for 5 black and Latino teenagers accused of raping a white woman in Central Park. He argued they were guilty. As late as of October 2016, more than 10 years after DNA evidence had exonerated them, this man put out ads encouraging for them to be killed. That's justice, right? Is not even looking at the evidence, but just condemning them and encouraging everybody to kill, encouraging their deaths, even though these people were exonerated by DNA. By DNA, they were exonerated. This is what Martin Luther King died for, and this is the progress, right? This is the progress. 1989 on NBC, Trump said, I think sometimes a black may think they don't have an advantage or this and that. I've said on one occasion, even by myself, if I were starting off today, I would love to be a well educated black because I really believe they do have an actual advantage. He calls us blacks. He began in 2016 presidential campaign with a speech disparaging Mexican immigrants as criminals and calling them rapists. I remember that very clearly. This is the progress that Martin Luther King died for, which is very, this is very beneficial for America, right? He uses the gang MS-13 to disparage all immigrants. Among many other statements, he has suggested that Obama's protection of the Dreamers, otherwise law-abiding immigrants who were brought in the United States illegally as children, contributed to the spread of MS-13. So all of a sudden, this guy knows how Mexican people interact, move, and he understands him, even though not only is he not Mexican, but he doesn't know any Mexicans to that level. But this is the progress that Martin Luther King died for, and we have made progress, right, people? In December 2015, Trump called for a total and complete shutdown of Muslims in entering the United States, including refusing to readmit Muslim American citizens who were outside of the country at the time, who actually lived in the fucking America. But this is the progress that Martin Luther King died for, right? And this is the progress that's actually been made, right? The present day, we have a president who will condemn a whole religion and everybody in it, as if everybody in the religion is dangerous. Trump said a federal judge hearing a case about Trump University was biased because the judge's Mexican heritage, and then he was sued and ended up having to settle a few accusations of that Trump University, and this is what Martin Luther King died for, right? In June 2017, Trump said 15,000 recent immigrants from Haiti all have AIDS, and that 40,000 Nigerians, once seeing the United States, would never go back to their huts in Africa. This is what Martin Luther King died for, and this is the progress that we've made as a country. This beautiful progress to where the present day president, it talks about people from Haiti, says that they all have AIDS, generalize all of the Nigerians about them living in their huts. Um, so yeah, that's what Martin Luther King died for, and that's the progress we've made. It's right here. It's proof that we've made the greatest progress in the world. At the White House on January 11th, Trump vulgarly called for less immigration from Haiti and Africa and more from Norway. Right? This is integration in its finest form. Right? Um, this is what Martin Luther King not only died for, but this is the progress that that we see. Right? This is great progress. Um, an extremely credible source has called my office and told me that Barack Obama's birth certificate is a fraud. This is a statement made by Donald Trump to the public um, to try to encourage the fact that President Obama was not from this country, which is, like if that was true, which obviously it's not, but that is grounds of not only treason but even death. And to accuse the very first black president of something like that is a great example of progress in this country. That the first black president that is um, attained, he a billionaire white guy accuses him of not only being from this country, but being from a religion that has committed terrorist attacks recently in America to incite not only hatred but more bigotry. This is the progress that Martin Luther King not only died for, but this is the beautiful progress that we have made as a country. Trump called Obama, who was the editor in chief of the Harvard Law Review, a terrible student. A terrible student. Trump, who was never a student at any college that was as prestigious as Harvard Law, let alone was a lawyer, he is calling um, President Obama a terrible student, while Donald Trump not only does he mispronounce words on the daily basis, not only does he misspell them on the daily basis, but he calls women fat and tells people to grab women by the pussy. Um, and yet he wants to refer to President Obama, who became a lawyer, as a terrible, terrible student. And this is the progress, right? This is the beautiful progress that we've made as a people, man. Martin Luther King really, it's like he did a good job. He died for some good shit, and look at all the benefits that we have now. We got a president who just blatantly calls the first black president any kind of name he wants. He calls him idiot, lazy, stupid. He's not from his country. He's a Muslim. Whatever the fuck he wants to say, he says it because we are in a progressive country, right? Because you people respect Martin Luther King and what he did, right? You respect the legacy that he left behind and what he was trying to accomplish, right? The same Jesus that y'all pray to and that he prayed to, y'all respect each other, right? Trump frequently claimed that Obama did not work hard as a president. Trump falsely claimed that President Obama issued a statement for Kwanzaa but failed to issue one for Christmas. He often cast heavy black American cities as dystopian war zones. In 2016 debate with Hillary Clinton, Trump said, "Our inner cities, African Americans, Hispanics are living in hell because it's so dangerous. You walk down the street, you get shot." Trump also said, "Black voters, you're living in poverty. Your schools are no good. You have no jobs." This is, and none of that was followed by, "And I'm here to help you, and I'm going to change all that." None of that. But with that being said, this is progress. This is how you talk to people that you have no connection with. This is how people. That's integration at its finest. That you just tell people that they're not shit. Y'all are poor as fuck, and I'm not, and then don't give any type of solutions. Um, he frequently offers false crime statistics to exaggerate urban crime, including the Oakland, Philadelphia, and Ferguson, Missouri. Uh, he said that in the South, in the Charleston, um, protest over there when that lady was killed, and it was those KKK people, blamed it on both sides. He's quick to highlight crimes committed by dark-skinned people, sometimes exaggerate or basically lie about him, and claim that the growing crime from radical Islamic terror in Britain. He's very slow to decry hate crimes committed by whites against dark-skinned people, such as the killing of an Indian man in Kansas City last year. So he frequently criticizes prominent African Americans for being unpatriotic, ungrateful, and disrespectful. Um, he called Puerto Ricans who criticize his administration response to Hurricane Maria political motivated ingrates. Um, so I can keep going about how progressive we've come. I can keep going about the president. The today's president is a pure reflection of the beautiful progress that we have made in this country, and how this country, including majority of people in it, they respect and honor what Dr. King died for, and they put up all these commercials and they parade little black kids on TV talking about how proud they are. Is because at the end of the day, we have a president that cares about black Americans so much so that he calls some of who have marched alongside white supremacists in Charlottesville very fine people. The same people that probably would have been spitting and doing all sorts of shit to Martin Luther King when he was peacefully marching. These are the people that the president today calls as very fine people. Yo, we made a lot of a lot of good progress, y'all. For real, this is good stuff. David Duke, the former leader of Ku Klux Klan, endorsed Donald Trump. Trump was reluctant to disavow Duke, even when asked directly on TV. Trump hired Steve Bannon as a campaign head and later White House chief strategist. Under Bannon's leadership, the White House Breitbart made white nationalism a central theme. It featured a section, for example, on black crime. Trump endorsed and campaigned for Roy Moore, the Alabama senator and candidate who spoke positively about slavery, who loved slavery, and called for an African American Muslim member of Congress not to be seated because of his religion. Okay? This is the progress we've made. Trump pardoned Joe Arpaio, the Arizona sheriff, sanctioned and was arrested and imprisoned for racially profiling Latinos and keeping immigrants in brutal prison conditions. This is the progress that we have made. I can keep going. I can just look. This shit don't stop, and this is all made by the president that succeeded the first black president, which is showing us the beautiful progress we've made. Beautiful progress we've made as a people, right? That's what Martin Luther King died for. It's for people like Donald Trump to not only take over, but then to cause even more separation, more disgusting, violent, and racial, hate-filled rhetoric, like what I just read to you. That's what y'all call a leader. Is a person who just incites nothing but more violence and more bigotry. So, like I said, any motherfucker that sits here and says they respect Martin Luther King and vote for people like him, appreciate people like him, endorse people like him, like I said, all it is, you're just telling us that It's not only so disrespectful, but it's like when people go, "Hey, have a good day," and they really don't mean it. That's what that means. How you doing? You doing good? Well, really, they don't even give a fuck about what you feel. That's what that means. That's what that means. The same way when it's Black History Month and all these motherfuckers want to throw Black History shit, but then when a black person dies on some bullshit, is in prison on some bullshit, or some kind of inequalities happening, none of them motherfuckers want to talk then. Ellen ain't saying shit then. Kelly Ogle ain't saying shit then. But when it's Black History Month or when Dr. King, oh yeah, let's get them little black kids out there. Y'all ain't fooling me, man. Fuck y'all. Fuck every single one of y'all. And fuck every single, and even on my side, all you motherfuckers that pray to Jesus, that got Martin Luther King killed, fuck y'all too. Because that's the bullshit that got him killed. And y'all still sucking on Jesus' dick all goddamn day. And that's the shit that got him killed. Who gave you Jesus? Who gave you Jesus? It wasn't Africa. It wasn't your people. The white man gave you Jesus. The white man gave you all this Jesus and all his stories. At least these modified stories. Because these stories, they are older than that book. But the stories that y'all know about Jesus, motherfuckers gave them to y'all. So with that being said, man, this is how I honor Mr. King, Dr. King. This is how I honor him, is that I'm not gonna bite my tongue no more. I'm not biting my tongue. And my tongue is sharp. But then the great thing about me is that when I get to talking, I also get to moving. 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 Revolution is not won by kumbaya and fucking holding hands, singing "We Shall Overcome." You ain't overcoming shit. Stop singing. Let's get to work. But the first thing is, we need to call things for what they are. All these fake ass people who like sucking on the goddamn propaganda dick. Y'all motherfuckers, I'm calling y'all out. I'm done. I'm done playing with y'all. I'm done. All of them. All of them. I'm done playing. All you news stations, you fucking TV shows, all you people who got companies and you got one black person in there, but you want to talk about Happy MLK Day? Fuck you. Honor that man by hiring people, goddammit, and not only hiring your own. That's how you honor that man. That when you see some fucked up shit that you know that is not right, that you say something or you do something. That when you hear about Terrence Crutchers and Stephon Clarks and Trayvon Martins, that you motherfuckers say something. When you hear people like Trump talking that racist ass shit like that behind closed doors, you say something. You don't talk all that shit talking about rest in peace MLK and then you go and laugh with your buddy about some racist ass shit or and then you go pray to the same goddamn Jesus that got Martin Luther King killed. Or you go support fucking NBA that's been pimping the shit out of you. Buying fucking Jordans and motherfucking Jordan don't even own shit. Get the fuck out of here. Fuck out of here. Think Martin Luther King would have been looking at the NBA going, y'all motherfuckers is doing a good job. People looking at y'all going, why ain't none of y'all owning shit? The fuck is wrong with y'all? Everybody just along for right now. Fuck it, I got a ring. I got a fucking shoe. You got a fucking shoe. Fuck your shoe, bro. Why don't you own some shit? Why don't you own some shit? Own a goddamn stadium. Own a goddamn TV fucking channel. Fuck your shoes. Motherfuckers just want shoes and shit. I've always, ever since I was a kid, when I wanted to be in NBA, I just wanted to have my own shoe. Fuck your shoe, bro. A shoe ain't shit. Why don't you own a goddamn school, a university? Why don't you own some neighborhoods, you dumb motherfuckers? All y'all want to do is run around and play a fucking dribble a ball all day. And that's why, too, everybody likes, you respect somebody who dribbles a ball all fucking day. That's the man. That's the man. Just because he spent 8 hours a day shooting into a fucking hoop. Now that's the fucking man. Get the fuck out of here, man. Get the fuck out of here. Them motherfuckers, all they doing is getting pimped. That's it. A game. You understand what I'm saying when I say a game? That's a game. That's a game. What law is Michael Jordan passing? Huh? What laws is he passing? What neighborhoods is he building? What schools is he building? Fuck out of here, man. Oprah built a goddamn school. Jordan can't build fucking schools all over the place. Swear, man. I don't know how Martin Luther King was, but I'll tell you right now. I know if I was him, boy, I'd come back. I'd be cussing you motherfuckers out so bad. Al, what the fuck happened to you? Al, you sitting over here drinking coffee with goddamn Bill. You got a show? What? You got a set in CNN. They gave you a goddamn show, Al, and you out here and you ain't, these motherfuckers ain't trying to shut your shit off yet. Motherfucker, you ain't doing shit to talk about. You ain't doing anything worth them shutting your shit down. That means you ain't working. That means you ain't fucking working. Jesse, what are you doing? What's your son doing, Jesse Jackson? What the fuck are your kids doing? Oh, embezzling? Oh, Jesse Jackson Jr. in prison? Y'all motherfuckers ain't doing shit for the cause. All you did is as soon as MLK got shot, you motherfuckers played fucking bitch. Oh, fucking master. Well, shit. I'll just start a church and just mind my own business. Fuck it. I ain't dying today. Fuck that. All y'all motherfuckers should have caught one too. Goddamn it. And by now, if you ain't calling by now, you ain't doing enough work. You ain't done enough work. So fuck them too. Fuck them. I don't give a fuck them. Fuck them. Y'all just wanted to live. That's it. That's it. Y'all didn't give a fuck about that man. Y'all give a fuck about that man's honor, y'all would have been fighting. Still fighting for the same shit. Shit makes me sick, man. It makes me sick. Malcolm X, same thing. As soon as he figured it out, going, man, fuck this nation of Islam. These motherfuckers, they cool with them. What the fuck is going on here? Boom, got him out too. Nobody saying shit. Look what they did. Look what the Nation of Islam did to young Pharaoh. Same thing. Shut him up. Boom. Shit is crazy. None of these people respect Martin Luther King, let alone what he stood for. And if your progress is what we call the president now, if that's progress, Fortune 5 only 15% of Fortune 500 companies show their statistics in diversity, and really only 15 of them are openly saying that they hire, that they do diversify their workforce. And the rest of the motherfuckers, only 5 out of 500 goddamn Fortune 500 companies have African American CEOs. That's goddamn integration. That's integration. How many senators, how many congressmen are white? How many people in the Congress, in the House, and in the Senate are white and have more influence in the lawmaking? How many? So that's what I'm saying. So y'all don't look at me and go, man, you crazy, you just hate people, you just hate. I'm looking at the fucking scoreboard. I'm looking at the scoreboard. So with that being said, man, MLK, I got you, and I'm gonna do more. Any way I can, I'm gonna get it in. I'm gonna get it in. All these other motherfuckers, man. Like I said, y'all are yellow. Not only just yellow belly, man. Like I don't expect y'all to go do nothing crazy. What I'm saying is that do what you can. Do what you can. But one thing's for sure is if you want to honor somebody, you honor but what they died for and what they stood on, and you take that as your own. You don't just sit there and call it pretty and then walk by when the same shit is happening. You spitting on that man's grave. So that's all I got for y'all, man. R.I.P. MLK. We still pushing. Al, what's his name? Al Sharpton, Jesse. I don't know what the fuck y'all on, but y'all are some fucking y'all weak, bro. Y'all weak. Y'all got that money and got comfortable. So fuck y'all for that. Um, and fuck all you other weird ass people that are commercializing and using Martin Luther King's likeness for propaganda and trying to act like y'all are fucking cool with integration and diversity when not even half but 90 fucking percent of y'all's companies y'all don't want to show those numbers because you don't want people to know that y'all don't hire in diverse y'all don't believe in diversity and hire people of different demographics. Y'all don't do that shit. It's because y'all don't want to play fair. It's because y'all motherfuckers don't want us in y'all shit because y'all don't want to play fair. I don't now why I don't know, but I could care less why. I just know y'all motherfuckers don't want to play fair. And anytime any motherfucker who don't want to play fair, it's because they're scared of playing fair. Because if motherfuckers wasn't scared of playing fair, then we would have just as many congressmen and senators and presidents. We would have just as many fucking Fortune 500 CEOs. We would have just as many owners of basketball teams and stadiums and TV channels and everything else that all you motherfuckers own, but none of us do. All that shit, there'll be more of it if motherfuckers wasn't scared to play the game. But since y'all are scared to play the game, you come up with these systematic ways to hinder our progression. And like I said, I'm gonna call it for what it is. It's pussy. Y'all pussy. It's pussy. That's why y'all motherfuckers don't want us in the game. Y'all rather have us playing the game than owning the stadiums because y'all scared what the fuck we might do with it. And what we do is we fuck around and since we are the breadwinners, we don't want bringing in that paper, isn't it? It damn sure ain't fucking Marco Rubio bringing in that paper. It damn sure ain't fucking Rubio. I can't even think of another motherfucker. It ain't Collison bringing in that paper. It ain't them motherfuckers. No, it ain't. It hadn't been for a while. Well, we coming back for everything we owe. LeBron, I swear to God, bro. LeBron, you better grab your team when you retire. If you don't too, bro, man, I love LeBron. That's my guy. And I feel that when they try to shut the door on him, I'd like to assume he's going to speak the loudest about this bullshit. Because too many of you, all you Charles Barkleys, you Shaq, House, Negro, wouldn't let the motherfucking slave master's house burn. You probably spit on and trying to save that motherfucker with your motherfucking fucking insurance card, goddamn heat pad, fucking hoeing ass. I swear to God, bro, you the biggest hoe when it comes to commercials. The biggest. Literally, I mean that in both ways. You the biggest hoe and you the biggest hoe when it comes to pimping yourself for this fucking advertising. It's horrible. Shaq, you goddamn, I swear to Christ, bro. I wish you were in the Django. Jamie Foxx would light your ass up. You'd have been one of them house niggas that motherfucking Django would have, he would have whooped your ass, bro. He would have gave you the whipping. Oh my God, I can't stand your ass talking all that shit when Eric Kaepernick made a statement, trying to make a statement. Yo, fucking yellow belly Uncle Tom ass. Now one time, he shouldn't have done that. Why did he not do that last year? Well, motherfucker, because he grew some balls and decided to do something about it. What about you? Oh no, I just want to get this love and basketball money and motherfucking heat pad money and the insurance, whatever else these motherfuckers want to give me, I'm gonna do it. Fuck out of here, bro. You just want to be on SNL and fucking on TV all day, you fucking groupie. You a fucking groupie, Shaq. You a groupie, bro. I know you probably will never see this, but I wish you do. You a fucking groupie, bro. You all you want to do is suck the man dick. That's all you want to fucking do. And then talk down when real motherfuckers are doing something. You could have just kept your mouth shut with Eric Kaepernick. With Colin Kaepernick. You could have just kept your mouth shut, but instead, you want to throw dirt on what he did. If you don't agree, you don't agree. But you want to throw dirt on what he did? When your faggot ass should have been doing the same thing years ago, but you don't want to do that because you want to keep getting hold because you want to get paid. Fuck you, bro. Fuck Shaq. Fuck Shaq. I'm out.